And maybe just briefly again, because I saw a lot of questions coming about Athena, which is a really cool tool, but kind of it was released, version 2 was released a couple of weeks ago, and it's not the most, well, it's actually a very popular tool because everybody needs vocabularies, but it's always been undervalued for some reason to what it does, right? So I'm going to show you, I guess, the latest creation of that tool as well. So Athena is a tool where you can now come and browse your vocabularies, search for a specific concept or a term, as I call them. So you can navigate, see relationships, see hierarchies and things like that. So this is new to version 2, as well as a more traditional and very important feature to where you can go and download your vocabularies. So again, we implemented single sign-on between Arachne and Athena, so you can use the same login information and all of your details will show up here, so be conscious about that. But once you come to this vocabulary download tool, and that's a really cool, neat feature, you can select vocabularies and click button download, and it will, actually here I got nothing, it will let me call this bundle, name it something, right? Actually, I don't want to, just want to create a small download. Right. And download it. So what it's going to do is going to kick off that packaging and download process. And I could have actually, and I advise you to do is select this notify me of any changes button, because when Dimitri and his team will make any updates to vocabularies that you've downloaded, you'll be notified, hey, a new version is available. Right, so it's very useful. With notes? With notes. Yeah, so that's the vision, yeah, so you'll see notes. So we've actually been talking about adding, what's the difference between this release and this release. So yeah, we're seriously thinking about it. It's not exactly trivial, but if you got any ideas that you want to share, we can work with you. Yeah.
So I'll make a quick point. So there will be a release probably in the next couple weeks of a vocab diff tool that will actually be running queries. It's based in R, but essentially what it'll do is it'll generate a document that'll identify differences between two vocabularies.
Will it go up on Athena here? Be able to be viewed?
I mean, it will just generate a like a HTML doc. So I don't know, like we could just have the release notes posted either on the OHDSI site or within Athena, something like that will work out. And I will admit it's going to be pretty basic up front, but our hope is to start with something and then kind of like we've done with Achilles, as more checks come up that we want to run, we add them, and then we'll at least have something, because to your points, today we don't really have anything that's allowing us to do that. But I've already seen a completed version of it. It's working, it's running, so we'll be releasing it shortly.
So, and again, as soon as we publish this, rather, as a community, this tool, if it's open source, we'll add it to Athena. That's how it works. I think that's the beauty of a community like that, as you saw in previous examples, we've taken some pretty serious advantage of Achilles and our packages, and it's time saved for everybody, and it's not only time saved, but I think we also have been able to take an existing Achilles report and we say, hey, there's new D3 version, let's upgrade it, put it back, and now Atlas and the rest of the community can take advantage of this. So that's the prime example. If Frank says it's coming, then Pavel will make it happen as an example. Yeah. So, and again, so here what's different, all of your downloads histories, they will be saved, and then you can always come and just re-download it again and again and again. You don't have to go through the selection process over and over again. And so that's one of the examples. And then there's more interesting examples where you can just, let's say, search for stuff. And I don't know, you don't see it instantaneously, but on my screen it was very quick. So it's, again, taking advantage of technologies like Solr. So there's millions of records, vocabulary records here, and then you can search for it, and it comes back in a second, and then you can
What's it searching?
vocabularies. It's searching concepts.
Concept or?
Concepts, right?
The one thing I would like to sometimes search is just the vocabulary file. It's hard just to see like release of it.
Yeah, so in this specific interface, you search concepts, not the file that you download that has been generated by Athena.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the vocabulary file with the records, one for each vocabulary, where I see vocabulary ID is none, and it says, oh, this is the release date.
I'm not sure. So here's the guy in the back who is managing vocabularies here, Dmitry or Christian. Dmitry, the question came to you. Today when we release vocabularies, there is a unique version every time, right? Maintain. The version of vocabularies
Yes,
is
there
being
is
maintained in the table, right?
Right, it'd be good to just have that up front.
Right. I understand your question, right?
I've got May 17th,
Right.
2017. Oh,
Yep.
No, I understand now. Yeah, so when you download it, right, yeah, you can choose from different vocabularies to download, different versions to download, right? I understand, but when you're searching, what exactly are you searching, right? Yeah.
Hey, pop quiz. Who knows where you find the vocabulary version of the current version of the vocabulary you have? Go ahead, Don.
It's in the configuration.
Nope. Lies.
I was going to say vocabulary ID none.
That's correct. In the vocabulary table, there is a vocabulary ID equal to the word none. And if you query for that, you will get the version identifier for the current version of the vocabulary that you're using.
Right. So another cool feature is that when you found a certain term, you can actually see what that is in terms of not only term-specific details, but any relationships that you might see of this term hierarchy or related concepts. Well, I think we retain a version -1. Right? So today you have a choice between 4 and 5, if I'm not mistaken, to download and choose from. So no, it's very valid feedback. Mm-hmm.
With 4, that was more of a problem.
Right. Again, it's a community, and any feedback like this, guys, it's absolutely valuable. So if you do have any ideas of what needs to be added, just put it on the forum. There are pages related to Athena release, and if you see anything that you say, hey, can we have this? Yeah, sure. I mean, if it makes sense, we'll just add it in.
What's the form going to be? Is it the vocabulary CDM form, or are you starting a new form?
Yeah, so we already have, you mean forums? Yeah, vocabulary forums.
Vocabulary
Yeah.
form, that's the way to put it.
Yeah, either vocabulary or I think platforms will have platforms. Yeah. So here's the king of forums right here. So we can
No,
yeah.
don't correct
Yeah. But again, so going back to just Athena just for a little bit, and I know it doesn't seem to be very cool. Well, actually, it's very cool in terms of visualization, right? So you can see hierarchies. So in this specific case, you see that specific drug and a number of relationships to different terms in different vocabularies, as an example. So that's vocabulary level. Because if we look at or concept classes, or minimum is, just how many descendants do I have, right? And here you can also see related concepts, and essentially when they curate vocabularies, they introduce those semantic links, so you can immediately see if I have different terms, how exactly they relate to each other. So you'll see here a lot of non-standard terms in the relationship to a standard term, which is useful when you need to map data or create a certain query. So things like that. So that's, again, Athena. It's another open source product. It's a community tool. And again, it's there are multiple, but the key main platform, the way I see it today, again, is Atlas/Web API, Arachne, and Athena is a very good combination that could enable you to conduct very effective internal or network studies. Any other questions? Please.
The only thing I'd say is that be a little careful what you're adding here so that I don't end up having to go to Atlas vocabulary to find out something.
Yeah.
And then have to know, wait, this other stuff's here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's more room for consolidation and integration and alignment, and again, that's why we're here, I guess, in that symposium. But you know, the way we have looked at Athena is for, again, the latest and greatest vocabulary search and browse, while in Atlas has been used for a very specific purpose of when you design an analysis/study, you need to utilize those terms, so you create more sophisticated concept sets, and that's really how it was built. But your feedback is well taken.
Yeah, so I was going to say, I think when you go to Atlas, where is vocabulary?
Yeah, that's fine.
Right, you see, they're just looking at concepts.
You're right, you're right.
Buildings.
Okay then, well, thank you for your attention.